to become an uncommon man, somebody that is willing to do things that most people are not willing to do. As a result, achieves results that most people don't have. And it all starts up here. Yeah, let's get this thing going. We are a couple minutes past 6. We're going to be digging into basically setting goals, but going a little bit beyond setting goals for the New Year's, because that's the typical thing that most people do is they set some goals, get a couple weeks into the new year, lose motivation, and before they know it, goals are pretty much done for, right? So what I cover tonight is essentially how to dial in. I like the term dialed in. When an individual is dialed in, it means he knows what he wants, he knows why he wants it, and he does everything in his power to get it, and that's what creates success. And so oftentimes when guys set goals, and feel free to drop a comment in the chat box if you're watching along, if you're guilty of coming up with a goal only to not follow through on that goal for whatever reason, whatever could have happened, something out of your control, something within your control. You lost motivation, you just got bored or didn't feel like doing the work, came up a little bit short, whatever it was, you didn't follow through, you didn't complete that goal. And maybe it's a pattern. Maybe it's something that you've continuously done for the last couple of years. Every New Year's, you tell yourself that story like, all right, I'm going to wipe the slate clean. I'm going to get after it. I'm going to go beast mode this year. This is going to be my year. I love that one. It's like people say, oh, this is going to be my year. It's like, what happened to the last 5 years that we're going to be your year, right? And so when people go about doing this, it's like they're in the moment and it's great. But what we talk about tonight is going to take you beyond the moment, because I think we can all think about a time when we were super motivated and excited and fired up in the moment. And it's like, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And then it comes down to doing X, Y, and Z. That motivation is gone. That fire is gone. And you're just like, I don't even know what I was talking about, right? So the frameworks that I share tonight are the exact frameworks that I've been using for years to set up goals, set up what we like to call top priority outcomes. Outcomes are pretty much the same thing as goals, but they're just a little bit more dialed in. They're a little bit more specific. So you set these up and you attack, and you create success. You create success. That is the biggest thing, is you're not given success. Just because it's the fucking new year and you set some goals and you say, I'm going to do this and that, doesn't mean that the universe is going to turn around and hand you over whatever it is that you desire. You got to put in the fucking work, period, right? Easiest way to put it is you got to put in the work, right? But there's something that gets in the way. There's something that gets in the way. And it's up here. It's up here. You carry it around with you every single day. It is by far your worst enemy, your biggest barrier that you will ever face in your life is right up here, in your mind, in your brain, how you think, how you act, the stories that you tell yourself. So a lot of what I cover tonight is going to be focused in on getting this dialed in, more importantly, right? So first things first here, what I want you to think about with this new year coming up. And it's easy to just hit reset because yes, we're going into a new year, so we can kind of wipe the slate clean. And I'm kind of OCD like that. If you're going to start something fresh, that's the way I like to do it. It's just like, forget about all the muck and the confusion and the frustration. It's just like, wipe it clean, start anew, right? So the first thing that I really want you to think about here is not just a goal, right? And I talked about this past couple of weeks. I've been really hammering this with the New Year's coming up. It's like, stop chasing goals, because goals are fine and dandy when you're motivated. Goals are fine and dandy when you're excited and you're fired up. But a goal is not going to move you forward when you're not fired up. A simple goal is not going to move mountains, so to speak. What is going to move mountains for you is a mission. So I want you to think about, like, what is your mission? Like, what is your, I guess, fire? Like, what's the big desire that you have? Like, just right off the top of your head, think about what it is. Like, I just had a conversation no longer than 90 minutes ago with a fellow dad. The beginning of the conversation was how it typically goes. Like, what's your big goal? What's like really driving you to take action right now? Why are we having this conversation? I need to get this weight off. I want to lose this 25 pounds that I've been carrying around for the last 3 years that I can't get rid of. I've tried X, Y, and Z. Motivation was one of the biggest barriers. Lack of accountability was playing into that. But most importantly, and what I love about these conversations is we had a breakthrough. This gentleman had a breakthrough. And basically his breakthrough was to stop thinking about this 25 pounds that he wants to lose. That doesn't fire an individual up. It's like thinking about the why. Why the fuck do you want to lose that 25 pounds? Why is it important for you to do this? For this individual, he's coming up on 41 years old. He has 3 kids. He says the average lifespan in his family is around 70, 75. So his life is half over based off the averages, right? And so when we put it like that, it's like 25 pounds. Fuck that. It's like, we got to do this because our life is half over. Breakthrough. Now he sees clearly. Now he's like, I'm going to run through fucking brick walls. If I think about it like that, I've never really thought about it like that. And that's the fire. That's the fire. And so what my goal is for you tonight on this special training is to uncover what your desire is, what your real desire is as you come into the new year. What do you truly want to change and transform about yourself? If weight is a part of that, if losing body fat is a part of that, if getting big biceps is a part of that, awesome. If that fires you up, if it raises the hair on your arms and your neck when you think about it, that's it. You know it'll be it. And so that is my goal on this chat right now, is to uncover that. Because when you uncover that, you basically become unstoppable. All right. And so where we begin with this whole process, you might want to take notes on this, because this is a real legit framework that I've been using for years with hundreds of individuals that have helped give them the clarity to attack their specific desires and achieve major success, right? The first thing that you need to do, it's real simple. Own up to the fucking truth. Own up to the truth. What do I mean about this? And it's interesting, the conversation I just had that I was telling you about, that's one of the things that came up. He's like, man, it's really hard to lie, to continue to lie to your kids, to your wife, and talk about how everything is okay, everything is fine, I'm good, when inside you know that's not the real case, because you keep putting things off. You keep coming up with bullshit excuses. You make justifications for everything, for why things are like they are today. I don't have this. I don't have that. COVID came around and closed my gym down, and I'm so busy. I got all these things going on. It's like, is that true? Is that true? Or are you just fucking saying that to make yourself feel better so you can continue to sweep things under the rug? And so for this individual, he's like, it just came to a point where I don't want to lie to myself anymore, because it's hard to carry on with that. And it is. And this is something that we oftentimes talk about in the Forge Father Project, is like, until you take off the mask and get real and raw and break down the truth, you will never change. It's because you're carrying around this extra baggage. You can't get rid of it. It's fucking shackled to you because you continue to lie about it. And what's been really cool to see through the years is when men, what we do every single week is called the weekly own up. And part of the weekly own up is to fucking own up. Tell the truth. How did the last week go? Did you fuck up? That's fine. Own up about it. Don't show up and say everything went fine and dandy and I'm hitting my macros spot on, hitting all my workouts. I'm Mr. Perfect. That's not helping you. That's not helping anybody else. But it's definitely not helping you, because you can lie to everybody else around you as much as you want and you can get away with it. But the one person that you'll never get that past is that man that you see staring back at you in the mirror every single day. So that's where you start. So what I want you to think about when you own up to the truth, think about the shit that you've told yourself in the past. Every time we come around this January 1st, new year, new me, I've said this shit to myself before, time and time and time again. When is the bullshit going to end? Own up to that stuff right now. I was talking about wiping the slate clean. That's exactly what owning up to the truth does. It wipes the slate clean. You can start new. You get that shit out there, get the baggage, throw it out there, let everybody see it. And in fact, one of the most powerful things you could ever do is you can go to the ones closest to you and own up to them. Tell your kids what you've been lying to yourself about. Tell your wife, if you're married, what you've been lying about. That's a hard exercise to do. But guess what? It's going to be super uncomfortable and it's going to break your ass down so you can build yourself up stronger. Because here's the truth. When you look in the mirror at yourself and you see this individual, guess what? The guy that is going to get you stronger, better, fitter, showing up as a better man is that man that you see in the fucking mirror. I can't come save you. Your buddy can't come save you. Your wife isn't going to come save you. Your kids aren't going to come save you. You got to save yourself. And so it all starts with owning up to the truth. And so simple activity that you can do. And most guys aren't going to do this. Most guys just, they want the diet hacks. They want the workout programs. They want the supplement. Like, what's the supplement stack? Motherfucker, own up to the truth first. Start there. You can't follow a workout program because you keep quitting every time you lose motivation. You can't follow nutrition strictly because you keep fucking up that too. Telling yourself bullshit stories. You give up too easily. Start with the truth. So an activity that I would highly recommend you do is just take out a piece of paper, write that shit down right there. Own up to the truth. What are the things that you need to own up to? That's first. You got to get rid of the baggage. So strip everything down, get rid of the unneeded taking up space, or the unneeded junk, and build up from there. That's number one. Number two, this is where we start to get really, really clear on what it is that you want. And the framework that we use is called the MVP. You got to get clear on your MVP. That stands for mission, vision, purpose. Mission, vision, purpose. How does this break down? We start with the vision. And so visualize what it is that you want to achieve. What is it? What's the changes? Okay, 25 pounds for this individual. Okay. The man that I was telling you guys about that I talked about earlier. Started with 25 pounds, but then it started to get a little bit deeper. It's like, well, I want to wake up in the morning not feeling so freaking old. I want to feel a little bit more limber. I want to feel like my old athlete self again. Okay, cool. We're getting somewhere. That's part of the vision. What else? I want to be more engaged with my kids and the activities that they do. I don't want to be the guy off to the side on the sidelines, just, not being involved at all. Okay, gotcha. That's part of the vision. Want to be more involved at home when he comes home from work. He admitted he's being lazy when he comes home from work. And of course, he's tired because 25 pounds overweight, doesn't take care of his body, doesn't work out consistently, doesn't fuel his body consistently, doesn't prioritize sleep. You name it, it's all there. Baggage, get it out of there. But that's part of the vision. He wants to be better at home. He wants to be better connected with his kids and his wife. 25 pounds is a part of that. Great. Why? Because he's going to show up better in life. He's going to have more energy for his kids. He's going to have more energy for his wife. He's going to have more confidence with himself because number one, he's owned up to the truth and he's not fucking lying anymore. And then number two, he's doing the work that he needs to get done. He's keeping promises with himself. It's all part of the vision. It's all part of the vision. Now, with the vision, you can take it to another level and you can start to get really, really specific with your vision. And so metrics, cool, 25 pounds. We can say yes, no, you hit that. Awesome. It's an outcome. We know when you'll get there. Body composition. What's the body fat percentage that you want to hit? Cool. I feel that's way more important than body weight. We can take performance metrics into consideration. You want to run a faster mile? Where are you at today? You're at 8 minutes today and you want to get down to 6 minutes? Okay, that's an outcome. That can be a part of your vision. You want to be able to do 30 pull-ups strict, unbroken? Cool, that's a metric. How much money do you want in your bank account? At this time next year, how much money do you want in your bank account? Write that shit down. Where are you at right now? How much money are you going to have to make over the next year to get to that point? So you got to be specific with your vision. It's not, I just want to lose 25 pounds. Get freaking specific. Audit every area of your life that you want to change, that you want to improve. Write that shit down. That's part number one, the vision, right? Everybody likes a good vision. Everybody likes a good fantasy, if you will, right? Imagining where you could be. Well, that's only part of it because the other part is very, very important. That is the purpose. Now we got to think about why you want this vision. We got to make a connection here because when you find yourself in moments of opportunity, which are those times that you're going to face every single day where the resistance is hammering you, the voice inside of your head, how your body feels, motivation is nowhere to be found. It's just you. It's just you. And it comes down to doing the work. And so if you're just focusing on a simple little goal or a simple little vision or a little metric, like, oh, I want to lose this 25 pounds, but this bed's real comfy right now. If you're not connected to a purpose, you're going to keep your ass in bed. Guarantee you. You will talk yourself out of it. You will bitch out. You will quit and give up super easy when there's not a deep purpose connected to it. So think about what that vision is and then think about why you want it. For most of the men that I work with, they want these things. They want this vision of a life. They want to be stronger, fitter, leaner, more energized. They want to show up with more confidence. They want more certainty in themselves so they can show up as a better dad, husband, professional, and all-around man. So they're living and leading a legacy in life. That is their purpose. That is their fucking fire. Because here's the thing. I mentioned fire at the very beginning. Find your fire, find your desire. That's where you find it right there. Do some deep soul searching. It might take a little bit of time for you to figure out what it is because I can't give you the answer. I can't tell you what it is. For most men, that's what it comes out to be, is to being that individual that your kids look at. There's a certain look in your kid's eye when they see you, and you know it. There's a certain look in your wife's eye when she looks at you. She's looking at you differently. That's what you want. You want that feeling. You want that confidence. You want that edge. That's what needs to drive you. That purpose is going to create a desire that you have inside of your heart, inside of your soul, that lights this fire that is going to help you blow through fucking brick walls, like I typically say. That's when you know you have that down. Is it going to make the journey super easy? Absolutely not. It's still going to be a very tough journey. But when you connect the vision and the purpose together, when we talk about the mission is the daily work that you need to get done. It's the daily work that needs to get done. The boring shit, right? The training, the nutrition, the lifestyle, the planning, the preparing, the doing of things. That's the mission. Commit to that mission, knowing that it's going to get you to the vision. And the reason you want this vision is because of the purpose. So hopefully that's all connecting with you. That's how that breaks down. And that's what we're trying to create here is a desire, because if you've ever read the book, Think and Grow Rich, I would highly recommend reading the book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. He talks about this concept of a white hot burning desire. When an individual has this white hot burning desire to achieve a thing, whatever that might be, that individual will do whatever they need to do to get there. They will allow nothing to stop them. And he shares a story in the book. You just got to get it. You got to read it and it'll click. It'll click. You can have whatever the hell it is that you want. You just got to want it bad enough. Then you got to follow that up with action. But here's the thing is when you're so connected to whatever it is that you desire, You won't allow things to hold you back. You won't tolerate the bullshit. You won't tolerate talking to yourself like a lot of you guys talk to yourself. Negative self-talk, limiting self-beliefs. You bullshit yourselves. You lie to yourselves. You're not going to tolerate that anymore when you tap in to this real, true desire. So that's where it all starts, guys, is owning up to the truth, getting very, very clear with your MVP, but then comes the work. Then comes the hard stuff. So once you've gotten super clear and focused and dialed in on what it is that you want, you got to be, do, have. Be, do, have. There's this vision that you want. In order to have it, guess what? You got to do the things. You got to take action, daily mission. And then there's this part, be. You got to be. This is where taking on a new identity is super important. And this is where we get a little bit deep. Because a lot of guys, again, all they want is the surface level shit. And if all you continue to seek is the surface level shit, what am I talking about? The diet plans, the workouts, the tactics, the strategies that you've tried over and over and over and don't work because that one doesn't fit me. Guess what? All of that shit works when you work. Consider for a second that the thing didn't work because you didn't work. You didn't follow through. You weren't consistent enough. You weren't relentless enough. You didn't have a desire to actually follow through and complete what you started. Take some ownership. Take some responsibility. That's what this be part is all about. Be. Embrace a new identity. Consider something for a second. The current individual that you are today, if you were to just list out all of your current results, all your current metrics, your current vision, like the now, right now, like how your life is, how your relationships are, how your financials are, how your fitness is. You've gotten to this point to where you are today because of the individual you are today. Going a little bit deeper, your habits, your behaviors, your routines, and your patterns. Those things on a daily, all mixed, mashed together, have created this outcome that you have today. Is what it is. And so the gentleman that I told you about, that I had a conversation with before we kicked this chat off tonight, that's one of the things that came up was these patterns that he falls back into. These patterns, how he talks himself out of doing things. He talks himself down. And these patterns are so just consistent. They show up so often in life that they just kind of go under the radar anymore. So I asked him this question. I said, have you ever considered for a second that the reason you keep getting to these points and then just drifting back to where you've always been is just because that's who you are? That's the identity that you've taken on for yourself at this point in time. Another breakthrough. It's like, I've never really thought about that. So here's why this is so important. Because if you come up with these big grand visions, you're like, I'm going to finally get a six-pack this year or whatever it is. You need to stop for a second and you need to think about this. Like, what are the habits, the behaviors, the routines, and the patterns that I need in order to achieve this vision? And understand that the current identity that you have right now, if you don't have these results, that means that you don't have those current habits, behaviors, routines, and patterns right now. Otherwise, you'd have those results, right? And so this is a hard concept to grasp, but it's super important. You need to upgrade your identity. You need to match your identity to the vision that you have for yourself. So I'll use a super simple one. It's like part of your vision is you're going to run a marathon and you've never ran a marathon before. Well, guess what? You're probably going to have to take on the identity of a marathon runner. I'm just saying. You're probably going to have to become some sort of runner in your mind. So you take on runner habits, behaviors, routines, and you fall into certain patterns of marathon runners. You do what marathon runners do. So if you want to be a millionaire, start doing what millionaires do to become millionaires. Adopt their habits, their behaviors, their routines, their mindset, their identity. That's going to be what helps move you to that vision. So a lot of guys don't think about this. They think about the fun part of coming up with this vision, like, oh, I want to do the X, Y, and Z, without thinking about the work that it's actually going to take to get there. And so be, do, have. Ready yourself to become a completely new individual. The current shit that you have right now, if you don't have the results that you want, ain't working. It's time to upgrade the system. Got to think differently. Got to act differently. All right. So up to this point, we've covered getting very, very clear on your MVP, owning up to your truth, upgrading your identity. Now I want to get into the good stuff. So the way we break things down inside of Forged Father, instead of going a whole year out, that's really, really tough. A lot of things can happen in the course of a year, right? We like to break things down a little bit smaller chunks. We like to break things into quarters. 4 quarters over the year. So for the next 3 months, I want you to think about where you want to be in 90 days time. 3 months. Think about 2 things. Your 2 top TPOs. These are your top priority outcomes. These top priority outcomes need to be something specific. You just can't say, I'm going to get fitter. That don't mean shit. Fitter to one guy might mean that he runs a marathon, and fitter to the other guy might mean that he works out 3 times a week. Completely different, right? So with your top 2 TPOs, what I want you to think about are metrics. Perfect one here, okay? I want to lose 30 pounds by April 1st. That's a metric. Pretty simple, right? Surface level. But when we really dig things down, it's like, okay, why do I want to lose this 30 pounds? XYZ. Why is XYZ so important? XYZ. Hopefully you guys understand that. So don't get confused with the TPOs taking over the vision. The TPOs are what you're setting for yourself to achieve in the next 90 days. This is like the specific stuff, right? So I want you to come up with 2 TPOs. Why 2 TPOs? Why not 10? Because studies have shown that when you come up with 2 specific goals, you're more than likely to follow through and hit those goals because you will be focused. You will be dialed in on those 2 specific goals versus 3, 5, 6. Now you're spreading yourself way too thin, right? And obviously you're going to hit smaller goals on the way to your bigger goals. But this is what I want you to really think about are your 2 top TPOs. And feel free, drop in the chat box if you're watching live on Facebook, if you're watching here on Zoom. If you know what your TPOs are, or if you know what one of them is, I'd love to see what they are. Drop those in the chat box. Drop those in the comments. But get real specific. Ideally, you have a start date and an end date, and a starting metric and an ending metric to make it real specific because you got to know where you're at right now to know where it is that you're going. So another simple example here is the way you can write this out is on December 27th, 2021, I am currently at 10% body fat. And by April 1st, 2022, I will hit 7% body fat. TPO right there, right? Start date, specific starting point, end date, specific ending point. And notice how I said that. I said, today I'm XYZ. On April 1st, I will be aware of how you speak to yourself. Don't say, I want to hit this. That's like, well, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I really want to. Have confidence in yourself. Back yourself, starting with your language. This is a completely whole different topic that we can dig into on being a self-talk savage, on how to dial in how you speak to yourself, the language that you use with yourself, and how you put things out into the universe. I want to make $1 million. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to make $1 million. Speak that into the universe. There's 2 people every single day. One guy says, I want to make $1 million. The other guy, with certainty and belief and confidence in himself, says, I'm going to make $1 million. Who do you think is going to get to $1 million first? More than likely, the guy that has certainty and confidence in himself. The other guy, subconsciously, just by saying, I want to, is kind of adding in a little, maybe I won't do it. Maybe I'm a little bit unsure of myself. Maybe I kind of doubt myself. Maybe I'm going to quit. I don't know if I really want this that bad. I can't back myself. You might not think it clearly and consciously, but subconsciously, you're putting that away. You're putting some doubt in that. Just something to think about when you talk about your goals. When you talk about other people or with other people about your goals, and I highly recommend you guys share your top 2 TPOs with everybody you come in contact with. Who cares to know? Especially your family, your wife, if you're married, your kids for sure. Say, hey, this is what daddy's going to achieve by April 1st, 2022. I'm going to XYZ. Tell your kids that. Talk about it every single day. Write it down. Vision board. Those are powerful. Those things work, right? But either way, come up with 2 TPOs. And then here's something that's very, very important is once you come up with these TPOs, and again, this is a mistake that a lot of people make, is they come up with these goals. They come up with these outcomes that they want to achieve, New Year's resolutions, whatever. And that's the fun, exciting part, right? But then comes the work. And so what you got to do is you set these TPOs. Now you reverse engineer the outcomes. You know where it is that you want to go. You're clear with that. Now you got to reverse engineer everything and start to think about, okay, well, how am I going to get there? What's the type of work that I'm going to have to put in? What are the small missions that I'm going to have to accomplish to get there, to fulfill this quest, right? And so you got to think about the actions. Okay, I'll just use mine as an example. It's like, okay, if you're at 10% body fat, you want to get down to 7%. Well, I'm going to have to track my macros and get consistent with hitting my macros, probably 6 days a week. I'm going to have to train consistently, train my body, XYZ. I'm going to have to get X amount of hours of sleep. I'm going to shoot for 7 on average, and I'm going to do this and this and this. I'm going to cut out X, Y, and Z. Actions that you're going to have to fulfill. And as a result, there's smaller outcomes that you're going to achieve along the way to get to the big outcome, the big top priority outcome. That's why we say top priority, because it's at the top of the list, right? So you got to reverse engineer it. Now you start to get the brain working. It's like, okay, I'm going to have to do X, Y, and Z. Now you can have a deep conversation with yourself, and you can ask, do I really want this outcome? Is this something that I really, really want, or am I just saying that I want it because I think it'll impress other people around me and it's just a common thing? Is it something that really creates that desire inside of you? Because here's another mistake that a lot of people make, is they just come up with some goal for the new year because they think, oh, well, I'll share this with other people knowing in the back of their mind that they're not truly committed to following through and doing the work that is required to get them there, but more importantly, making the sacrifices to get themselves there. I've had a lot of conversations with guys that are like, I want to get lean, I want to get shredded, I want to get, in the best shape of my life. And it's like, okay, you willing to cut out alcohol completely if you really want to get those results? No. Are you willing to give up some of your social life, going out with your buddies? I don't know. Well, if that's the conversation that you start to have with yourself, and I'll use this one again, it's like a marathon. Okay, I want to run a marathon. And then you start thinking like, fuck, I don't want to get up early and run before work because that's the only time I'm going to have to run. I'm not getting up when it's snowing outside and raining outside, and I'm not going to make that sacrifice. I'm not dedicated to taking those actions. Well, what you need to do in that situation is you need to come up with a new TPO, because that shit ain't going to work. You're setting yourself up for failure. You're just putting something out there because it's all shiny and exciting and it's cool to tell people about. But if you're not willing to follow through and make the changes necessary, then match the outcome up accordingly. And so I have this conversation quite often. In fact, is like, again, guys are like, I want to get fucking shredded. I want to look like you, Travis. Okay. Are you willing to have the lifestyle that I have? Meaning that you get fucking dialed in on your macro. You don't skip workouts. You don't drink alcohol. You make sleep a priority. You do these things, you get these results in return. I'm not willing to take it that extreme. Okay, that's fine. We can still get lean. We can still get athletic. We can still look good. We can still do all these things, but let's not take it to the extreme, because we know we're not willing to really take it to the extreme. Because what happens here is people set these crazy ass goals at the start of the new year. They're all motivated. And then that hype stage, right? It almost blinds them that they set these things. And then when they start to attack this goal and they realize how much of a challenge it's going to be, they get defeated. And I'm all about setting big goals. It's like, shoot for the stars or you'll hit the moon, right? I get it. Set the bar fucking high for yourself. Don't do the bare minimum. Don't check the boxes. Push yourself, get yourself out of your comfort zone, but also be somewhat realistic about what you're really, truly going to commit to. So when you reverse engineer those, you got to really start to think about the work that's going to be done. And then here's a big thing, is thinking about the skills that you're going to have to acquire along the way. How are you going to have to level up in regards to where you're at today? What's the knowledge that is needed? What are the skill sets needed? What type of support system might you need? What type of accountability do you need to get to your outcome? Because if you've consistently chased a certain outcome for how many ever years and you just come up short and you're just kind of spinning your wheels, at some point, maybe get some outside help to get you there. Hire a coach, become a part of a program, surround yourself with others that have done what it is that you're trying to do. And so when I say like skill sets, it's like, I'll just use an example of, the body fat, right? Get really good at hitting your macros. How do you do that? Well, probably learn from somebody that knows how to do it and can coach you and teach you on doing it, so you don't fall for these bullshit diets and fads. Oh, I'm going to try keto again. I'm going to try this new fancy diet again. I'm going to try these supplements. It's like, figure out the bare bones basics of nutrition, figure out how to track and, dial in on your macros, and you're going to get the results. It's just a matter of time. When you learn the skill set, the knowledge, it comes through repetition, implementing the information. Most people, they get the information, but then they fail to implement and they don't get knowledge back in return, right? So think about those things. What is going to get you from point A, where we're at today, to that point Z, to where you want to be in 90 days, the first quarter of 2022. And then from there, once we've gotten the clarity, we've owned up to the truth, we're super dialed in on this vision that we have for ourselves, and we know why it is that we want it. We're on fire. We're ready to fucking go. The biggest thing that you need to do at this point is you need to make a decision. You need to make a decision for yourself. And this decision is to commit, go all in, burn the fucking boats. Meaning, don't have some plan B set up for yourself. Don't allow yourself to talk yourself out of it. Commit. When I say commit, I mean, don't be interested in this goal. And this is something I oftentimes talk about, is like, are you truly committed, or are you just kind of interested in achieving this result? Are you truly committed to losing this weight and getting yourself into the best shape possible? Or are you just interested in doing that? You like the ideal of it. And typically when you're interested, you're not so much committed to putting in the work, making the sacrifices, and being the disciplined individual that you need to be to get there. And so don't kid yourself. If you're interested, don't waste your time. Get fucking committed. Go all in. Burn the boats. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. And when you truly tap in to the purpose, I can't stress this enough. When you truly tap into that purpose and you know why it is that you're doing what you're doing, you make it external, aside from the internal reasons. Like, yes, it's inside of you. It's the reason you're doing these things, but you make it about other people. You make it about your people, your kids, your wife. You become a very dangerous man. You become a very unstoppable man, an uncommon man, like we call it inside of Forge Father. You become an uncommon man, somebody that is willing to do things that most people are not willing to do. As a result, achieves results that most people don't have. And it all starts up here. So getting very, very clear with all this. So that is how to get dialed in. That is how to get dialed in for domination. That is how to get clear on your specific goals moving into this new year. Obviously, it goes much deeper than this, but this is just the ground level frameworks here. You can obviously take things to a whole nother level, but this is where I'd start. Follow through with what I talked about. Take out a piece of paper, own up to that truth, flip that paper over, write down your vision, get detailed with it. Tie in what your purpose is, write all this stuff down, get it clear, reread it. Do it tonight when it's fresh in your head. Do it again tomorrow. Revise and redo it a few times. It's going to get clearer and clearer and clearer. And then you're going to be so focused in, you're going to be so ready to just take the action that is required to be taken, that you're going to end up to the destination that you're trying to get to. So that's where it starts, right? So with all this being said, guys, appreciate your time. Those of you that are on the live, those of you that are going to tune in for the replay, here's what's up. I do have a special opportunity for those that basically want to commit to the next level. So everything that I'm talking about here, it's great, but having the support, the accountability, the guidance to implement these things within your life, to have somebody over your shoulder that's been doing it time and time and time again, and to surround yourself around a community of other men that have done it, that are continuing to do it, that are achieving results. The opportunity is here now, right in front of you. And so Man on a Mission is the flagship program that we have inside of Forge Father. It is a 12-week program, and we dial in on, obviously, getting you very, very clear with your goals. We dial in on helping you create that desire and that fire so you become an unstoppable individual. But most importantly, it's like I mentioned at the very beginning of this training, and that is, we are going to put you into a position to live and lead a legacy in life. What does that mean? It means you've got your time, so you've earned your time back. There's 3 key pillars that we focus in on inside of Man on a Mission. Number 1 is to earn back your time. You are a very focused and productive individual. You're not the guy that's running around, I'm busy, I'm always busy. No, you got your shit locked in. You know exactly what it is that you need to do every single day, that you just execute and implement the plan. Simple as that. Number 2, you earn back your energy. Simple. You optimize your body. You lose the unwanted weight. You drop the body fat. You get lean. You look good. You feel good. You perform at a high level. You're fit. You're capable, meaning you're showing up on a whole new level. You're not worried about being tired. You're not worried about being out of shape. You're not worried about the extra whatever you have around your waist, the dad bod. That's not something that bothers you because we've destroyed that. You've optimized your body. So in turn, pillar number 3, you're showing up as your absolute best self, and you're earning back your connections in life. There's 2 sides to these connections, the external connections and the internal connections. The internal connection by far is the most important, and that is the connection that you have with yourself, with the man in the mirror. You're no longer lying to yourself. You're no longer bullshitting yourself. You're no longer sweeping shit under the rug, pushing things off, justifying stories that you have inside your head because you doubt yourself, you're uncertain, because you keep breaking promises, and you keep going back through these bullshit patterns that are not helping you push through. They're not helping you show up as your best self. And so you get back that connection where you can look at yourself in the mirror and you can say, I am doing everything at the best of my ability. I am showing up at my best so I can be my best for my family and my other connections, your external connections, for your kids, for your wife if you're married. You deepen and strengthen those connections because why? You're showing up as your best self. That's what it's all about. You got back your time, your energy, your connections. You're on top of the fucking world. That's what we do in Man on a Mission. And so if that's something that you're interested in, I have a very, very special opportunity, and I'm not even going to share it. I'm not going to share the details. I'm going to make you work for the details. If you're serious about this, you need to reach out to me with the words Man on a Mission. That's what I want to hear. You can hit me up on Facebook. You can send me a message on Facebook. Very easy. If you want to send me a text message, you can shoot me a text message. My number is this, 402-984-0791 is my number. Again, it is 402-984-0791. I have a very special opportunity, which ends at the end of this year. You'll never see it again. Because here's the honest truth, what's happening inside a Man on a Mission. We are leveling up. We have experienced a lot of growth in 2021 because of the results that we have been helping men achieve. Our team is growing. And as a result of that, we are upping the investment to come into Man on a Mission. And that'll be starting in the new year. But that is not the special deal that I have for you tonight until December 31st. You're going to have to reach out to me if you're super serious and committed to change. So again, you can send me a message through Facebook. Just say Man on a Mission. I'll know exactly what you're talking about. We'll chit chat. We'll see if it's a good fit on both sides, and we'll move forward from there. Worst case scenario, it's not a good fit. Hopefully you got a lot out of this presentation tonight, because that was my sole focus and my sole mission tonight was to help get you clear so you can actually go into the new year and fucking dominate and stop bullshitting around with, oh, set clear specific goals. Okay, that's only part of it. You got to follow that shit up, right? So if that's coming on board with me and my team inside of Man on a Mission and Forge Father to help you just completely annihilate the new year, awesome. If not, I hope this helped you out. So with that, I'm going to close things out, guys. Thanks for being on. I will see you on the inside. Be well, and here's to dominating the new year.